Well, shifting gears, on the afternoon of October 5th, all 9 passengers on board a private flight en route to San Salvador were killed when the small airplane they were traveling on plummeted into Lake Killarney. It's been more than 2 weeks since that fatal crash, and since then, 5 of the 9 victims have been laid to rest, and a 6th scheduled to be buried tomorrow. But the family of one victim has been trying to get his body released from the morgue so they can too lay their loved one to rest. In this next report, Christina McNeil tells us why the process has been so lengthy and what will happen next.
More than 2 weeks after the fatal plane crash into Lake Killarney, the Public Hospitals Authority at the center of a controversy surrounding the release of one of the victims' bodies. Phone calls, faxes, and eventually a trip to the Bahamas is what it took the attorney representing the family of plane crash victim Shannon Mildor, also known as Sasha, to finally get Mildor's body released from the Rand morgue and into the custody of the funeral home selected by the family. Mildor's body was being held at the morgue until official documents requesting the release of the body were received by hospital administrators. According to mortician at Rock of Ages Funeral Home, Kemuel Cox, the funeral home received word that the body would be released. However, that decision was later reversed.
The body was released, and our personnel went there to pick it up, and then they just said they get a call from administration, say, hold up. And that was a week ago, and no one called us, say nothing. I went back on yesterday, and no one knows anything.
Attorney Robert Distefano says he was hired by Mildor's family in Florida. He says he filed all of the relevant documents with both the Princess Margaret Hospital and the police, including a faxed letter requesting the release of the body, a confirmation of receipt, a document authorizing Rock of Ages Funeral Home to collect the body, a copy of Mildor's wife's United States permanent resident card, and a copy of the couple's marriage certificate issued in Haiti. Despite sending those documents on October 18th and receiving confirmation that the documents were in fact received, Distefano says it wasn't until he made a trip to the Bahamas that he was able to get the body released to the funeral home.
They said something about not having the right documentation, although I did fax to the police department and to the hospital the marriage certificate and letter of representation from my law firm at least a week to 10 days ago. So I don't exactly know the mix-up. She wasn't quite sure. I don't want to cast blame anywhere.
Since Distefano met with senior legal counsel for the Public Hospitals Authority this morning, Mildor's body has been released to the funeral home. But the question is, why did it take so long for the body to be released? That's the question we put to Managing Director of the PHA, Herbert Brown, who explained that the PHA only received faxed copies of the release documents, which could not be verified until today.
Once we are able to satisfy that this document that we are looking at is in fact a document that would satisfy us that the person that we are being asked to release this body to is in fact the correct person, there is absolutely no problem. But if we get a fax document and we cannot verify that the document we're looking at is in fact valid, then clearly we have to make sure that we seek to clarify it, and that is exactly what we did.
Under normal circumstances, Brown says the process of getting a body released can take about 1 hour, once officials are satisfied that the person the body is being released to is authorized to receive the body. Now, Distefano happened to be in Nassau today and was able to verify the validity of the fax documents. But the question remains, what if he had not been able to appear in person to do so? When would the body have been released? Distefano says Mildor's family is relieved that the controversy has been cleared up and they can now begin preparations for the funeral, which is tentatively set for next Saturday. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.